Between the swings, we immerse ourselves in the traditions of a timeless game. Surrounded by untamed shores, ever-shifting sand dunes, and marvel at Mother Nature's wonders. Paired with those we cherish, walking, searching for the soul of the game. This is Bandon Dunes. This is golf as it was meant to be.
Bandon Dunes is truly golf as it was meant to be. Back Nine Report TV had the opportunity to visit the very popular resort, and we came away very impressed. Bandon Dunes has been rated in the top 5 of American golf resorts since it first opened in 1999. Developer Mike Kaiser found a piece of property on the southwestern edge of Oregon on the Pacific coastline that was perfect for building golf courses. He has a very specific 4-step process to developing great golf resorts, which includes finding the right piece of property with a sand base and natural rolling terrain, an ocean to inspire magnificent views, and unique golf holes. Engage a big-name golf architect to design and build a masterpiece. Then offer outstanding service to guests as soon as they set foot on the property. In fact, they have taken the 4th step in the Kaiser mantra to another level. Once you book your adventure to Bandon Dunes, the staff will contact you via email to confirm and welcome you to the resort. You will be reminded of tee times, check-in information, travel options, and other amenities on multiple occasions before you ever reach your destination. Once you step foot on the ground, your every whim will be expertly taken care of by the experienced staff at Bandon Dunes. In this interview, Director of Operations Jeff Simonds tells us that after the success of the first course at Bandon Dunes in 1999, they quickly realized there was always an appetite for golf at Bandon Dunes, which led to the construction of Pacific Dunes, Bandon Trails, Old McDonald, plus the Punchbowl and the Preserve. The Bandon Dunes Resort includes 4 championship golf courses, all in one location. We are here in Bandon Dunes in the beautiful southwestern coast of Oregon, just north of California, really about an hour and a half, I think, something like that, right?
That sounds about right.
We're talking with Jeff Simonds, who is the Director of Operations here at Bandon Dunes. Is that correct?
You are correct, Brad. 2 for 2.
Holy moly, I'm on a roll. Jeff, how long have you been here?
I am in my 15th season here at the resort.
I understand that you started out as one of the pros at one of the golf courses.
I did. I'm a PGA Master Professional. I've held every kind of golf position there is here, from assistant professional, head professional, director of golf, and recently this year became the Director of Operations. Congratulations. We're standing here right outside the Pacific Grill, which is on the unbelievably beautiful Pacific Dunes golf course designed by Tom Doak. I think this was the 2nd golf course that opened here at Bandon Dunes, right? It did. Pacific Dunes opened in 2001, and it was an immediate hit among golfers and journalists, and it quickly became a favorite for everyone across America. Yeah, we've heard so much about it over the years. We've written about it, talked about it, and have never had the chance to come out here, and so we were able to finally get that done, and we are impressed. It's really hard to kind of describe what about Pacific Dunes kind of captures people's imagination and why they like it. But when you get out there, it does. It appeals to you, the way the bunkering is, the green surrounds, the risk reward. It's just a fantastic golf course from start to finish. So when Kaiser was looking to do something, how did he happen upon this piece of property and decide to come here? So Mr. Kaiser he very much knows what he wants, and his love for golf basically took him all across the world, and he started kind of writing down what it was that made his favorite golf courses his favorites. And he found things like sandy soil and unusual land characteristics and the being next to an ocean and the views. And it wasn't just about golf, it was about the whole sensory experience. And when he decided he wanted to build a golf course and then a golf resort, he knew what he wanted in it, and he didn't settle for things that only had certain
criteria that he was looking for. He wanted all of it. He found that here in Bandon, Oregon, and started with Bandon Dunes. And as soon as that became a success in year one, he knew to make it a destination, he needed another one. And so that's where he went to Tom Doak for Pacific Dunes, and then Bill Corr and Ben Crenshaw for Bandon Trails, which opened in 2005. We added Old McDonald in 2010 and Bandon Preserve in 2012. So we just keep kind of growing, and we've enjoyed the growth and being able to provide a great golf destination for people.
So there's the 4 courses here. 3 of them set right on the ocean and offer some fantastic ocean views while you're playing. Bandon Trails is just a little bit inland, but it gives you more of maybe a trees and more of maybe a northern Michigan type feel.
Yes, Bandon Trails it's kind of that sneaky good category. It's a lot of people come out here and they're wanting to play on the coast and they want to see the ocean. They've traveled long distances, and as you come out here and play and you get out on Bandon Trails, you realize that it's an incredible golf course. It still has ocean views on almost half the holes, but you're right, you're a little further inland, which the benefits, it provides a little protection from those windy afternoons that can pop up. It gets a little warmer out there because the ocean air doesn't quite reach that far, and it can really kind of change up your golf experience here from morning to afternoon, and it really provides some diversity out there.
Talking about the total experience here, in addition to great golf, you have some great dining at several locations as well.
We do. We know that when you come out here and you walk and you play, and a lot of our guests will play 36 holes, that takes a toll on your calorie count, and so we make sure that you've got some very delicious food to eat while you're here, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And we know our guests are here for a couple days, so we don't want them to be repetitive in their meal selection. So we have different restaurants with some different options, and you could be here for a week and not eat the same thing twice.
If you want really kind of a little bit nicer type fine dining kind of thing, there's the gallery. If you want to just kind of go for the regular comfort food and some really good stuff, McKee's Pub is a great place. We've tried both of those. The Pacific Grill right here. We had a great lunch here yesterday. So, and once you're on the property, you don't have to drive. The shuttle buses are unbelievable. You barely hang up the phone. They're there to pick you up.
Yes, and that's all by kind of part of the experience we want people to have is it should be about the golf. And so whether it's our food, whether it's the shuttle experience, our lodging, everything is centered around making a great golf experience. So when you call us in the morning, we're going to be there to pick you up, get you to the practice facility, get you off to the golf course. When you're going to eat, we're going to have a great meal for you, and it's going to show up rather quickly so you can get back out on the golf course. We have things like the Punchbowl and Bandon Preserve that can extend your golf into the evenings and not be it's not going to be as big of a challenge physically to play Bandon Preserve or to hang out on the Punchbowl, but it includes golf in the total experience, and everything else is to complement that experience.
You mentioned the Punchbowl and the Preserve. The Preserve, of course, is the par 3 that sits just over on the other side between Bandon Dunes and Bandon Trails over there. We played that yesterday, had a great time over there. It was fantastic. And then right behind us here, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but is the Punchbowl. And Corr Crenshaw designed that, or did Doak design this?
Tom Doak with Jim Rubina designed the Punchbowl.
Okay. And so it's a putting course. So if you want to, if you got some unsettled bets that need to be, the odd wager that needs to be settled, the Punchbowl is a good place. You can run over or play the Preserve. You can do that in about an hour.
You can. The Punchbowl's, it's just so much fun. It was one of those things that when we did it, we didn't really know what to expect other than we know that there's always an appetite for golf here. And the goal was, what's something else we can do that involves golf? And we have this 2.5-acre putting green behind us where people come out and, there's elephants buried out there. So you can get some monstrous putts and breaks, and it allows people to kind of be a kid again. And you bring out your flat stick and you have some buddies, and you might throw in a beverage or some snacks, but you walk around and you have some putting contests. And it seems rather simple, but it's that way for a reason, because it's just easy and it's fun, and people will be out there for an hour and a half. And usually at sunset we're looking at people kind of expecting them to leave, and they don't want to because they want more and more and more.
You're going to put some lights up out here.
We've talked about it, but I wouldn't expect it anytime soon.
One other thing that we want to talk about is that this is down on the southwest coast. It's not the easiest place maybe to get to, but you're improving that with some deals where you can fly in here pretty easily from some different locations.
Yeah, we've always known that we were a remote part of Oregon, and when Mike Kaiser built the resort, it was a place you had to travel to. Thankfully, it's never been easier to get here. We've got daily flights right now in and out of San Francisco to Coos Bay. We have seasonal flights out of Denver that go direct to Coos Bay. But, the same regard, Eugene Airport's 2.5 hours away, which is a beautiful drive down the river. Portland is 4.5 hours away. And, it always seems like people are willing to travel for a great golf destination.
Exactly. Speaking of the Punchbowl behind us, maybe we get some juniors out here and learn how to putt a little bit so we could win a Ryder Cup or two.
Yeah, it's always a challenge to try and tame the Punchbowl because you will fall in love with your putter and then you'll hate it the next hole, and it kind of flows the way golf does. One hole you're a PGA Tour superstar, and the next hole you're the opposite of. So that's golf for you.
Handicap, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, Jeff, thanks so much for taking a few minutes out of your busy day to chat with us a little bit. We really appreciate our stay here. Really enjoyed it. And we want to get the word out that if you have not come to Bandon Dunes yet, you really need to put it at the top of your must-play list and get out here and see the property. Tom Doak, David McClay Kidd, Corin Crenshaw, the way Kaiser and the people have laid this out, it's just wonderful.
Thanks for coming out. We enjoyed having you.
Thank you so much.
3 of the courses, Old McDonald, Pacific Dunes, and Bandon Dunes, have several holes that play along the ocean, perched on sand dunes 80 to 100 feet above the beach. The Bandon Dunes course was the first course to open in 1999 and was designed by David McClay Kidd, who has gone on to build and design several well-known courses around the world. The second course constructed at Bandon was Tom Doak's masterpiece, Pacific Dunes. Mere words cannot describe the beauty and depth of Doak's genius in building this magnificent piece of art. I once asked Mr. Doak if he had a certain course that he liked to show prospective clients as a representation of his work. He simply smiled and said, Pacific Dunes. The course is rated the number 2 public golf course in the country behind only Pebble Beach, and quite honestly, I don't know what Pebble Beach could offer that is better than Pacific Dunes. 6 of Pacific Dunes holes play on the sand cliffs above the ocean. Holes 10 and 11 are back-to-back par 3s that simply must be seen to be appreciated. Every hole is a treasure. There are no lapses. It is a treat from beginning to end. One of the extra treats at Bandon Dunes is the Punchbowl. It includes nearly 2.5 acres of putting green with huge humps and bumps. It makes the perfect setting for a putting challenge after dinner to settle the odd wager or just enjoy a little more golf as the sun sets over the ocean. The highly acclaimed team of Bill Coore and Ben Crenshaw was contracted to build Bandon Trails. It's the only course on the property that does not come in direct contact with the ocean. The holes wander from the sand hills and into the rolling meadows and do provide views of the ocean as you work your way around the course. Coore Crenshaw also constructed the par 3 preserve that sits in a triangle between Bandon Trails and Bandon Dunes courses. If you don't feel like walking a second 18 holes, take a quick spin on the 13-hole par 3 preserve course. Elevation changes and huge sand dunes add to the adventure and make this one of the most enjoyable golf experiences that can be found anywhere. In 2010, Tom Doak was once again tapped to build Old McDonald, a course that was inspired by the first American golf course architect, C.B. McDonald. Wider fairways entice bombers to reach for their drivers on nearly every hole, but the green complexes are where the golf course begins and where Doak's imagination shines. Large, undulating fescue greens make 3 putts a common occurrence, and the dreaded 4-putt is always lurking. If you just want to work on your game or warm up before your round, visit the giant practice facility. hit balls to your heart's content, or chip and putt on the practice greens. With 4 championship courses, plus the par 3 preserve and the Punchbowl, Bandon Dunes has everything any golfer could ask for in a golf destination. We also had the chance to chat with Director of Communications at Bandon Dunes, Michael Chupka. He told us the outstanding service is the one thing he hears time after time as guests are checking out.
We're here at Bandon Dunes, standing right outside the Pacific Grill, right here at Pacific Dunes. And we're talking with Michael Chupka, who is the Director of Communications for Bandon Dunes. Michael, welcome to Back 9 Report TV.
Appreciate you having me here.
Michael helped set this trip up for us coming out here to see this wonderful property. And Michael, tell us one thing that you see when guys come out here, that one thing that they take away when they leave, one thing that they always mention to you.
The service of our staff across the board. I mean, the golf is exceptional, the accommodations, the food, everything across the board, but really the service of our staff is what people talk about the most.
It's almost like a big family, actually. And, you know, we were talking to some of the shuttle bus drivers and some of the waitresses and the caddies, and it's everybody knows everybody. You ask about it, they all know each other. They, you know, maybe even have other family working here, so it's really like a big family atmosphere.
Yeah, we've got 550 employees in the summer months, and then you throw about 300 to 350 caddies on top of that. And then you put that into reference of the town of Bandon with only 3,000 as far as the population, and it is one big family here.
And you make it feel that way or seem that way for the guests when they come. Everyone is so welcoming. From when we checked in the other day, they were so helpful and wanted to make sure we knew where everything was and what we were going to do, printed out the tee times and everything that we needed. They do a great job when you check in here.
Appreciate that. Yeah, it's you know, all the little details, the stuff that a lot of times goes unnoticed is what we thrive in, and making sure that as soon as a guest steps on property, we deliver a full-on experience that makes them want to come back as soon as they leave.
So here at Bandon Dunes, the accommodations are really a little bit unique. At a lot of places when you go to a golf resort, it's a big hotel and you're in hotel rooms. So if you're on a buddies trip, there's not really a good way to get together or hang out together. But here you use a lot of cottages and condos, so it's much easier to handle a buddies trip or a group.
Yeah, we've got anywhere from single rooms with queens up to 4-bedroom suites, and it really is designed to enhance that buddies trip type of experience. All the lodging is built inland as well versus out there on the cliffs, because it is all about the golf. So the best topography and the best land for the golf holes was kept intact, and then it's built back into the forest to give you that sense of seclusion.
Mike, we want to learn a little bit more about you also. I think talking to you, you came out here on a 6-month internship, and they couldn't get rid of you. You just stuck around.
I did. I ended up staying. I had really no intentions of joining the real world and sitting behind a desk, and Bandon Dunes felt like the perfect kind of experience to dip my toe in the golf industry coming out of college. So when I got out here, I fell in love with the people. I fell in love with the experience. You know, growing up and playing a lot of parkland golf and striving to hit that 8-iron a perfect 155 yards. I kind of lost touch of actually playing the game and understanding what made golf so great, and Bandon Dunes just woke me up to that experience, so I'm grateful to be here.
You know, you make a really good point about that. If you're used to playing like a necklace or a Palmer course where you have to carry it a certain number in the air every time you get over that bunker, here you can play a lot of run-up golf. It's more, I call this American links because there is, you know, Scottish links are unique. You can't really say that in the United States that you're a Scottish links golf course, but there is American links, and Coeur Crenshaw, David McClay Kidd, Gil Hanse, Tom Doak, they're masters at this, or they call them minimalists, using the land that's here and creating a golf course, and you have run-up areas. You don't have to fly everything to the pin.
Yeah, it is. It's all about being minimalistic here, all the way from the entire experience with the accommodations, the menus, the golf experience. And when you're out there playing, that's what it's all about. It's about kind of getting out of your comfort zone and playing some shots that are a little bit outside of the box for parkland golf, and just opening our eyes to. It's just a matter of getting the ball in the hole as quickly as you can. So there's no pictures on the scorecard. Get it in the hole and figure it out.
And if you're out there along the ocean playing some courses and the wind's coming in, you might actually have to start the ball out over the sand and let the wind bring it back in a little bit.
Yeah. Some of the elements that you have to face here are very, very unique, and the fact that we do have a prevailing wind that comes from the north that all the courses were designed for, but then we have benign days like today, and then we have days where the storms will come in from the south. You really do have 12 different golf courses depending upon the weather that we have for the day.
One thing we want to mention too is that Bandon Dunes is open 12 months a year. So if you want to get the family together or group together and come out here over the holidays, you're gonna be here to take care of them.
Yes, absolutely. It is some of the best days of the year are in the winter months when our prices drop a little bit, but you still get some beautiful, beautiful weather. Probably the best time of the year to come, though, is that May through October time frame, September, October being ideal.
Yeah, that was one of the things we wanted to know, what you thought the ideal time was to come out here. And I'm going to ask you one more question. So if you were coming out here for the first time, okay, what is the one thing that you would want to do, as soon as you got here?
Oh my gosh, I'd probably walk around to, what I did the very first time was I just got on my feet and walked around to every single spot. I avoided the shuttles. I walked to each, there's a number of beautiful trails around the property that can connect all the different shops. So I would get on your feet and walk around and soak in the entire place, and be sure to bring a camera.
Thank you, Michael, so much. Again, we really enjoyed our stay here. Look forward to coming back, and wish you all the best here at Bandon Dunes.
Great having you guys here.
As you heard Mr. Chupka reference, because all the courses at Bandon Dunes are walking only, they employ hundreds of caddies. In addition to a full staff of professional caddies, they also support the efforts of Evans Scholars Foundation and have been responsible for granting over 50 full-ride Evans scholarships to former caddies. Every year, hundreds of teenagers caddy for the golfers that make the trek to Bandon Dunes to play the wonderful courses. These young caddies like the money they earn for a job well done, but they are also trying to earn that full-ride Evans scholarship to either Oregon or Oregon State University. Mckenna Crocker is one such caddy who met many interesting people toting a golf bag. She said her favorite part of the job has been the ability to meet people that travel from all over the world to play golf at Bandon Dunes and hear their stories. She has been able to make connections that would not normally have been possible without caddying. It's wonderful to see people from all different backgrounds coming together through their shared love of golf and the outdoors. Back 9 Report TV wholeheartedly supports the Evans Scholars programs, and we are glad to see this worthwhile program being supported at Bandon Dunes. The USGA also appreciates the beauty and quality of the courses at Bandon Dunes and has held several national championships there. Pacific Dunes hosted the 2006 Curtis Cup match, and the 2007 U.S. Mid-Amateur was also held at the resort. Old McDonald and Bandon Trails were the host courses for both the men's and women's 2011 U.S. Amateur Publics. The USGA visited again in 2015 when the first U.S. Women's 4-Ball Championship was held at the Bandon Dunes course. Plus, the 2020 U.S. Amateur will be held there as well. Bandon Dunes is not just about golf, however. As you heard Michael Chupka mention, there are miles of trails for hiking around the property. Each course has its own pro shop and restaurant. In the lodge, the Gallery restaurant offers an upscale fine dining alternative. McKee's pub menu has lighter fare plus the feeling of a true Scottish pub. In addition, Bandon Dunes was designed with an eye to conservation and preserving the natural beauty of the southwest Oregon coastline and the natural foliage on the sand dunes. If you haven't visited Bandon Dunes yet, what are you waiting for? It is the way golf was meant to be played. We close out this special Bandon Dunes travel edition of Back 9 Report TV with a video of one of the most beautiful golf holes I have ever played. The par 3 number 11 on Pacific Dunes is only 150 yards from the tips, but it represents the very best in golf course design. This is why golfaholics must come to Bandon Dunes and experience the beauty, Mike Kaiser's creation, and the genius of Tom Doak, David McClay Kidd, plus Bill Coore and Ben Crenshaw.